If you're a producer, you're a musician, you are a session player, you are a composer, a singer-songwriter, you're in a band, this is the course for you, okay? So this is a series I'm putting together called Business Skills for Musicians. Very creative title. I know I went way out of my way to try to create a really catchy name for this series, but it's actually really, really crucial information that no one taught you before, okay? Your entire life as a musician, people have been telling you, wow, your music is great, I love it, this is awesome, you know, let me get your album, let me download, let me whatever. And they were always supporting you, your friends and family, of your talent, of your skills. But did anybody sit you down and say, that's great, now here's how you're going to monetize that, or here's how you're going to make sure that you create a full-time career with those skills that you have? Not many of us had that. I know that I actually certainly didn't get that so much in my life. So a lot of this stuff I had to kind of self-learn and learn through a lot of trial and error. And in my personal journey through the music licensing business, I made a lot of mistakes, submitted things the wrong way, did things very unprofessionally and just stupidly for a long time until I sort of figured it out and started doing things a little bit smarter, okay? So I now have been, coaching producers and musicians in the licensing business for 2 years now. And I'm realizing that sometimes you have to go back to the fundamentals and you really got to make sure you have fundamental common sense business skills if you want to succeed in the music business. Now, this is obviously more geared toward the licensing business, but I don't care if you're a band trying to just build a fan base and go on tour, sell albums, get on the radio. Doesn't matter what you're trying to do. Even if you're just a local singer-songwriter playing at your local coffee shop, making a couple of bucks, all of this stuff is very relevant to all musicians trying to be professional, okay? If you want to make music and just have fun and just put out tracks for people to enjoy, great. You don't need any of this. If you want to transcend what most musicians are doing, which is just making music and not getting paid for it, you want to actually do something a little bit better in terms of making some income from your gifts and your talents, this is the series for you, okay? So I'm going to break this up into a couple of different lessons. And starting with today's lesson, we're going to talk about how to email the right way, okay? You might be rolling your eyes and going, oh my God, is this guy really going to tell me how to email? Yes, I am, because email is the primary mode of communication right now on Earth. That's how deals are being made. That's how relationships are getting established and continued on with. That's how you're opening doors with new companies, with new music libraries for the licensing business. That's how you're going to collaborate. You got to have fundamental email practices down, okay? Professional practices locked down so that you're taken seriously, right? I know you have hated when you email people and they just don't even get back to you. They ignore you, or you just don't get the response that you want. It could be your music. It could be that you just didn't have the right fit for whatever they were looking for. But it could also be that your email game was bad, really, really bad. And I get a lot of emails from producers and musicians, and I get a lot of bad ones. I get a lot of very unprofessional submissions and just introductions and just emails to me. So I know this is a huge, huge problem. So take the time to invest in your career by watching this short presentation. It's going to potentially save your career and at least open up some new doors for you that maybe if you didn't have these skills, you wouldn't have had these opportunities opened up to you, okay? So here's the first lesson. Let's get started. How to email the right way. Number one, have a professional looking email address, okay? Big problem. It's the first fundamental thing you should be fixing right now if this is a problem, okay? Basically, just have your first and last name at Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, whatever you use, okay? So this is the free email if you want to just go get a free email. There's another way you can do it, but if you just want to go get a quick email that you don't pay anything for it, just use your first and last name. You can still be taken seriously with a Gmail account, a Yahoo account, Hotmail account. People don't just throw you away or discard your thing just because you're using a Gmail account. No, it's 2018 now, but even into the future, everybody's going to be okay with these. But your first part of the email should be your first and last name. It should not be something like killerassbeats@yahoo.com or check my stuff out at gmail.com. You need to make sure that your email at first glance looks like a professional, mature email address, okay? If you're using misspelled words and just weird things, you have like a production company name, but it's whatever, it looks like a 13-year-old is emailing them, okay? It might also end up in their spam folder because a misspelled word like this might look like a little spammy to a Gmail filter or a Yahoo filter. You don't want to end up in their spam folder. Use your first and last name. Standard, right? Pretty simple. You can also get your own domain, okay? So if you were John Smith, you could just do john@johnsmithmusic.com or just john@johnsmith.com. It's a little bit more work to do that. You have to obviously maybe sometimes set up a custom domain. I'm not going to show you how to do that. There's plenty of things online for free on YouTube to show you how to do that. That is a step up, I will say, that when I get emails from people and they've gone through to make sure that their email is actually their personal email from their company or their name, it adds a bit of seriousness, a little bit of weight to their submission or their email. So it is a step above. You don't have to, but again, taking that extra time to get that set up really does look good, okay? Don't use cute spellings, okay? So like I said before, Too Hot Productions, great with with the letter A, music, misspelled, beats with a Z. If you can tell, I'm not a big fan of the Z replacing an S. That's just one of my things, okay? Let's be adults here. Let's be mature. Let's start spelling words how they're supposed to be spelled. Okay, using a cool, cute, catchy little. It's kind of 90s. It's kind of done. That's kind of over. That really sort of it stinks a little bit of unprofessionalism. Okay, so just spell your words correctly. Spell your titles correctly, and just have a professional-looking email address. Okay. Use an attention-grabbing subject line. A lot of music libraries, supervisors, even record labels or radio stations get tons of email. Okay, got to remember you are marketing to them, right? You might not want to think of yourself as selling yourself or selling your music. You certainly are doing that. You need to make sure you have an attention-grabbing subject line. Let's talk about what those look like. Here's some good ideas, okay? So if you're approaching a music library for the licensing business, you can just start with 12 rock tracks available for exclusive licensing. That's pretty attention-grabbing because a music library is looking to supply their catalog with great music. And your email subject line really is a good tease because it's like, we could just put 12 tracks in our catalog today exclusively. So you're basically in your subject line selling the deal right there, okay? Another one would be modern EDM producer, ready to work, okay? Or you can fill in the genre that you do, okay? But obviously that's something that's like, okay, that seems like a really eager person that wants to do some cool stuff here. Let's see what they're all about, okay? Does your catalog need EDM music, rock music, pop music, hip hop, or specifically if you have 6 tracks ready to go, does your catalog need 6 hip hop tracks or modern trap orchestral tracks, right? Be specific on what you're submitting, but give them the pitch of like, does your catalog, are you in need, does your catalog need this kind of music? That's enticing, right? Because you're thinking about, first of all, what they need. And that's the big sort of takeaway from this entire presentation. Always think about what they need, right? What you're offering to satisfy their needs first. Not about what you want first, okay? What they need. Always put yourself in their shoes. What kind of an email would they want to open up? One that's self-serving and some guy bragging about himself, or one that says, hey, I got something for you. This is maybe help your catalog, serve your clients, make you guys some money from the publishing, right? They make money off of your tracks. So if you're giving them some really licensable tracks, they're going to want to deal with you, okay? So it's common sense stuff, but a lot of producers goes over their head. They don't think about this before they send emails. Let's talk about some bad ideas. These ones are fun. Hey, I've gotten those emails. The subject line is hey. It sounds like a dating email, okay? Like you're trying to hit on somebody. Don't do that. Submission, boring. Everybody emailing them is submitting stuff. Who cares? That doesn't get my attention. Doesn't get anybody's attention. Looking for a licensing contract. Who's not? Not interesting, not unique, okay? And it's also not addressing what their needs are. They don't need to give out a licensing contract. What they need is music, right? So always think about what they want. Here's my music. Who cares? I don't know who you are. Why would I care what your music is? And that's what a library is going to think. What do I care? Sign me, right? Having this sort of egotistical, selfish, please give me this, give me that. Anything in that just gives you the sense of like you're looking for something, you're looking for a handout, you're looking for something to be given to you. It's a turnoff. People don't like that, right? Everybody loves to hear, what can you do for me, right? So you need to always be serving the needs of whoever you're submitting your tracks to, okay? So, number 3, be brief, get to the point, okay? A lot of run-on long emails I've received. Nothing makes me more annoyed when you send me a book, an entire PDF catalog of your life and everything that you're thinking and all your It's like, okay, that's not interesting or important or relevant to me, and it's also very selfish that you would take up that much or think that I'm going to give you that much time reading through paragraphs and paragraphs, okay? People's time are money. Music libraries, they don't have all the time in the world. Supervisors, everybody's busy. Just imagine, just always assume everybody's busy. Get to the point, okay? Let's talk about how to make sure you do that. The first sentence or two should reveal what you have to offer. Underline, offer. What are you offering? What are you offering? What are you giving them, okay? Keep that in your head throughout this presentation. It's not about what you want in the beginning. Don't start your email with, hey, I'm looking for a licensing contract. Hey, I'm looking for this. I want this. This is what I want. It's not as interesting. It's not going to be as enticing, and it's not going to capture their attention to read on, as opposed to a first sentence that says, I have 12 songs that I would like your catalog specifically to have because I think it would be a great fit for you. This is where, and we'll talk about the link and how you include that. But right off the bat, you're showing them that their needs are first. Okay, and so you're here to serve their needs. This is a service industry. You got to make sure you get to that point immediately. Get them excited, right? Think about their point of view when they're looking at your email. Are they excited that you're looking for a licensing contract? No, but they're excited to fill up their catalog and maybe bring on board a really talented writer that can really help them out. This is a huge one. If you're going to mention your previous experiences, maybe awards you've won or something like that, only do it to demonstrate basically your track record of your willingness to work hard, to be persistent, to stick with it. Okay, that's usually, think about it, if it was a job application, usually the reason why people want to know about what you've done before is they want to make sure that you're not just jumping around from job to job and you can't stick with anything, and only show off that kind of stuff if it's like, hey, I've been doing this for a long time. Here's basically some of my record of what I've been doing. And this is my full-time commitment. This is what I want to do full-time. Maybe if you've had some experience in the licensing business, I've already gotten some placements. I've already worked with some catalogs or whatever. Give them that sort of sense of you're serious. You're here for the long haul. You're not just here a flash in the pan, giving them some tracks and out the door. If they're going to invest in you and commit with you, they want to make sure that you are in it for the long haul, okay? But here's that dream killer warning. Nobody cares if your newspaper did a write-up of you or somebody featured you on their podcast. I get so many emails from people that are trying to impress me, and I know that music libraries get these as well, where it's like, yeah, but I did this, and I got this in the award, and these people thought I was great, and I got this review from this person. Nobody cares about that but you and your fans and your world, which is great. Keep it in that world. When you're starting to branch out into the library business, the music licensing industry, that's not that important to them. They don't care that you got write-ups and awards and all this kind of stuff that's important to you. What they care about is, can we rely on you? Do you have good music? Are you going to stick with us for the long haul? Are you professional? Okay. If none of your accolades and all of your achievements point to any of those qualities, don't mention them. Okay. I've gotten emails with lists of awards of like newspapers and places and blogs I've never heard of. And I'm like, I'm not impressed by any of that. I don't care about any. I really don't care about any of that. I need to know, what can you do for either my purposes, or if I'm collaborating, what are you bringing to the table, right? I'm always thinking, what are you offering me? I'm not impressed with any of that stuff. Unless some of that stuff shows, you've been at this for a while, you're serious, you're committed. Okay, if I see that in what you're sharing with me, that's relevant, that's good to know, okay? There's nothing worse than run-on sentences and incredibly long paragraphs that force the reader of the email to suffer through an incredibly long series of thoughts that ultimately leave a music library confused and unsure of why you're spending so much time writing an irrelevant piece of dribble that doesn't help make your point as to why they should be seriously considering adding your music to their catalog for consideration of placements with their clients. You can see how run-on long sentences and paragraphs this long are annoying. And don't do anything other than confuse and piss off the person you're trying to talk to. Notice how everything else in this presentation is a one-liner, one sentences, okay? Easy to read, easy to follow along. Run on long paragraphs like this, cancel that, right? Cancel it. You should not be having long, just almost like stream of consciousness thoughts, right? And if you're terrible with grammar and putting together sort of readable sentences, go get it proofread, okay? You know somebody in your life that's pretty good with grammar, with punctuation, with spelling. Send it off to them, have them proofread it. If you don't know anybody is, Fiverr.com. You can pay somebody $5 and they'll look through what you're gonna submit, okay? It's worth it, okay? Do not send stuff like this. It is so aggravating and annoying, and it really does make, at least when I get emails like this, I don't even want to respond because I'm like, I don't even know what your point. Are you just like, it feels like a diary, like you're just like kind of unloading on somebody. There is really no concise point to respond to. So that's the kind of thing You want to really stop. Let's continue on. Number 2 here. So you need to be clear with what you want, though. So now that you've said what you offered, let's talk about deeper into the email, basically the next line. What is it you're looking for? Okay? Don't waste people's time. Time is money. Time is very rare, and it is something you need to respect. And in order to respect them, you need to let them decide from your first email if they want to work with you, okay? I can't tell you how many emails I've gotten from people that want to collaborate, but they don't have any specific idea of how to collaborate with me. And that's not up to me to figure out. That should have been on them. If you want to collaborate with me, give me an idea, right? I don't have time to go back and forth with you to brainstorm how we can work together. If you have a specific way that we can work together, hit me up, let me know what that specific idea is. I can immediately go, is this worth my time to entertain this idea? Or should I just say, you know what, thank you so much, but I'm not interested. That's how you need to be approaching anybody in the music business, okay? Ask them, let them decide by telling them what you want clearly, that they can just go immediately, yeah, let's talk, or no thanks. You should give them that option. You should not have this vague, open, like, yeah, we should just be in the same world and work together. Like, no, nothing like that. Specific, point by point, what you're looking for, how you can benefit them, how they can benefit you. Okay, a very clear, detailed pitch. State clearly what you're after. Okay, if you're looking for a long-term working relationship with them, tell them that. Okay. If you're looking for just a licensing agreement because you have one album to shop, let them know that's what you're looking for. Be clear about what your intentions are reaching out to them. They will respect you for your honesty and for your ability to just say, let's cut to the chase. This is what I want. Now that you've seen what I can offer, this is what I'm looking to get out of our relationship. And once you do that, again, you're giving them you're respecting their time so that they can immediately make that decision, decide if they want to go forward with you. Do not attach files ever unless they request you to say, hey, send us some MP3s, let me hear it. And that's usually after you've already opened the door and they know who you are. But if you're like cold emailing people and just submitting your tracks for the first time, never send attachments, MP3s, waves, things for them to download. Should go without saying, should be common sense, but it's spammy, okay? They don't know who you are. They don't know if these MP3s have viruses attached to them. They don't want to take up their hard drive space with your stuff. We live in a world where direct links are the way to go, so just include direct links to listen to the music you want them to hear, okay? So just use links specifically to the places you want them to go to. Don't send them a link to here's my website, and then they have to go click on another button to find your music. Send them to the actual music page of your website if that's where you want them to go directly, okay? Don't confuse anybody. Don't put any steps of friction between them and what you want them to click on or ultimately listen to. Make it very easy for them. It's honestly best to just have one link in your email to get them to everything they need to know about you and your music, okay? So usually what you should do is if you have your own website, let's say you have a SoundCloud playlist or a YouTube playlist, whatever it is, however you host your music, you probably want to have, and you have, let's say, your 12 tracks, your 6 tracks, or 3 tracks, whatever it is you have available, you want to have one page, one direct link that has all 3 of those or all 12 of those tracks on one page, ready for them to check out all of them, okay? Don't send them 12 links to 12 different tracks, making their life worse. Think about their end, all right? Do they want to go back and click, okay, cool track, let me go back, click. That is annoying. Give them one link. Click on that, cool, check it out. All right, check it out. They're on one page. They're on your page now going through your music, okay? Simplify things for them, okay? You got to make it real simple. Click on this link. You get to hear what potentially could go into your catalog right away. Use the magical phrase, which is, thank you for your time and consideration. At the end of your email, always thank them for the time it took and the consideration they had for you and your submission. Magical phrase means a lot to people, okay? Because it means that you're also respecting them and their time. Obviously, if you're following the other things that I'm pointing out here, you are respecting their time, but it's really good to make sure you also just put this in writing immediately, basically at the end of your email. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. Looking forward to hearing from you. Something like that. Okay, it's a really, really good thing to put in all of your emails. Include your contact info. Obviously, put your email and phone number at the bottom of your email. It's not necessary to throw your Instagram and your Twitter and all your stats. Okay, you're trying to do a business. You're trying to establish a business relationship with this company. Unless you think it's relevant to I don't know, maybe your popularity or something, and you think that's going to help in your impact. You don't need to have 18 links to everything on the social media world that you're a part of, okay? That is not relevant to them. They just need to know how to get a hold of you, and a lot of times it's going to be just a phone number and an email address. Usually they'll probably email you back first saying either, we're interested, we're not interested, and that email will probably say, let's hop on a call. Let's talk about it. Hopefully they don't just send you to some pre-filled out like, thank you, we would love to work with you, here you go ahead and upload your tracks here and fill out. That means that they're doing this with hundreds of other producers, and you're probably not going to develop a direct relationship with them. I prefer music libraries. They're going to get on the phone with you, build a personal relationship with you. That's the better kind of a deal you want to sort of be a part of. Let them know that they're welcome to contact you at either one. Okay, so if you have your phone number and email there, let them know. You can email me, you can call me. I'll be available for both. If you have a name that's difficult to pronounce, okay, you should include the phonetics, okay? So phonetics. You should actually say, whatever your name is, in parentheses afterwards, say pronounced blah, blah, blah. The reason why, if they call you, it's really embarrassing to call somebody and say, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your name. It's kind of weird, and it's putting them in an awkward position to butcher your name. So help them out, right? And just be an adult about it, okay? There's nothing weird about it, but you just need to let them know, if they call you, here's how you pronounce my name. So you take out all that awkwardness. You're also showing consideration for them. Okay, so it's a lot of sort of, you're thinking above and beyond just yourself. You're thinking about how they feel and what's important and interesting or nice for them to do. Okay, so spelling that out is a really important thing to just make sure. Be patient. Okay, patience is a very hard virtue for a lot of producers and musicians to have. If they want to work with you and they check out your email and it looks great and they love your music, they're going to get back to you within a week or two, probably within 48 hours. If you stand out, if you've got a really solid pitch and they're actively working, some libraries, I know they eventually go to sleep or they're not accepting submissions, but if they're working and they're actively taking on new writers, they're going to try to snag you up pretty quick. Okay, so if you're not getting a response within a week or two, we're going to talk about that. But be patient, okay? Don't send constant follow-ups every day. Hey, what gives? Didn't you get my email? How come you're not responding? Don't bother them, okay? Over and over and over again. Chill. Be patient, okay? People get busy. There are conferences in this business. People sometimes travel for the week. They're over here. They're taking meetings in New York. They're all over the place. Maybe you just caught them in the week where they were out of the office and they just didn't get to respond to your email. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Their business isn't going anywhere. Your music isn't going anywhere. Just relax. Just relax. Go play some video games, or actually better, make some more music, build up more music, build your catalog up more, okay? After 2 weeks, though, let's say you still haven't gotten anything from them, no phone calls, no emails, you can send a polite reminder, make it a point that it's possible that maybe your email got lost in their spam folder, okay? You don't want to come up to them and say, I know you guys are ignoring me. I know you guys don't care about me. It's obviously I'm not important enough to you, but obviously, that should go without saying. Give them an out, right? You always give them the benefit of the doubt and say, I actually sent you guys an email a couple weeks back with and you need to attach that email. I should have put that on here. Don't just make them dig through their email address, right? Make their life easier. Say, and I've actually attached that email below so you can check it out if you'd like to. It's possible my email might have gotten lost in your spam folder. I just wanted to make sure you did have a chance to read this. That's it, okay? If you don't receive anything after that, it's lost. You're not getting a hold of them. Okay, it's not happening. Don't then bother them every week. Hey, I just wanted to really make no. If it's not getting through, it's not getting through. Okay, it's likely that they're just either ignoring you or something else. Okay, or they just whatever. They don't like your music. So I think after 2 weeks, that's a sort of polite time to just say, hey, I've been patient, but I'm gonna just follow up, make sure that you really were not interested in this if you did get it through, and if maybe it did get lost in your spam folder, hopefully the second one can come through. Okay. Now, before writing any business email to a library, to a supervisor, to a label, to a radio station, to a promotion agent, anybody, okay? Don't hit send right away after you compose your email. Reread it a few times, checking for spelling, grammar errors, making sure it's saying what you really want to say. Make sure there's no sentences that could come off in a way that you don't want it to. Sometimes with writing emails, it can come off as aggressive. It can come off as bossy. Just make sure that it is phrased in the most receptive way possible, right? And always put yourself in their shoes. Again, got ahead of myself. How would they react to this email? And really try to separate yourself, maybe take a 5-minute break, come back to the email, read it as if you were somebody else reading this. How would you respond to this? Being able to do this is basically key to success in life. Being able to shut off your ego, humble yourself, and go, if I were the music library, what would I think about this email? If I were this person that was getting this email, would I be interested in this? What am I really doing? Am I pitching enough of what I can offer them and make their lives better? Or am I just trying to be self-serving and just me? Okay? Really think about this stuff. And if you need to take a day or 2 days, maybe even a week before you send an email to really make sure it's right, bounce some ideas off of some people you trust their opinions, it's worth doing. You got to have this skill in order to succeed, okay? Now, unfortunately, and let me just be another dream killer here, you're going to get rejected. I still get rejected. We all deal with a rejection, okay? So number one, just be ready for it. You're going to deal with it. You either will get a direct rejection or you'll get ignored, which is still a rejection, okay? So learn how to prepare and deal with that now so that you handle it the best way. You still, like if they email you back and say, we're not interested, but thanks for submitting, whatever, you still need to respond and say thank you for your consideration. You still need to do that. Even though you're pissed, even though you're mad, disappointed, sad, whatever, you still need to thank them for the fact that they took the time to listen to your music. They took the time to actually. Why? You showing that professionalism will stand out for them, okay? Even though they didn't accept your music right now, they will have this thought of this person, even after we rejected them, still came back and said they were really appreciative of us, right? Now, let's say you decide, okay, maybe your music wasn't up to par. So you spend 6 months, a year, honing your skills, getting better. You can reach back out to them after a while and you can say, listen, I actually submitted to you guys about a year ago and I think you said that my music wasn't ready. I've been really working hard and I think I've improved my skills. I would really love it if you could evaluate me and see if I'm ready now for your library. Now, if you had never responded to them and thanked them and showed appreciation for them before, it's likely they're just going to go, nah, we passed on you before, bro. We're done with you. If you showed a little bit of consideration and kindness and thankfulness and appreciation for what they did, it's not always guaranteed, but you have a better shot of them giving you a second opening down the road, okay? Never burn a bridge. You never know who you're going to work with again in the future. Always be professional. What can you learn from the experience? If they give you any feedback to say we don't feel your tracks are ready or up to par, what can you do better to improve, okay? Maybe your tracks, more than likely, a lot of the times the reason why people get rejected is because their tracks just weren't on par with the current library's catalog. So you got to remember, before you submit to a library, check out their catalog online, listen to comparable music to what you make, be honest with yourself. Are you really as good as what they already have? Because if you're not, it's a 99% chance you're getting rejected because they already got that good stuff, right? So maybe you need to make sure that maybe you're just not ready to submit yet, and that's okay. It's better to accept that reality than to keep submitting and getting rejected, burning all these bridges, sort of shooting your submissions all over the place and not getting what you want and then realizing, you know what, I probably shouldn't have done that yet. I think I should have spent some time improving my craft. So if you're not ready, you're not ready, okay? So you need to accept that. That's how you're going to get better, though. Just know where you are in the process. Obviously, if you get accepted, double thumbs up. Really, really awesome. But how do you handle that? Obviously, be ready to work, okay? You better deliver what you promised as well. They tell you, you told them that you have 12 tracks, and then they go, cool, bro, send it on over. Let's see it. And you go, oh, I actually had sent that out to a couple of other libraries, and another library was interested, so I don't have that. Burned the bridge. You just burned it, okay? Because now you're a flake to them. You promise things and you don't deliver, all right? Or what's worse, if you said you have 12 tracks but you really only have 6 and you kind of have an idea for 6 and you tell them now after they have accepted you and gotten back to you, give us those 12 tracks, and you say, well, it's going to take me a couple of weeks because I got to finish it up. That's not a good way to start a relationship. So don't overpromise. Definitely deliver what you said you can, okay? And you got to realize now that you're opening up the door, you're going to sign a contract with them, you're going to start getting more involved with them. You are building a brand now with them. Your name, your email address, your phone number, whatever, however is you're communicating with this library or the supervisor or the label or anybody, you have now a brand with them. Your brand is another word for your reputation, okay? So you need to work your hardest to protect that reputation, to get into their inner circle, Okay, so a library might have 20 writers that they work with, but probably only 5 or 8 of them are in their inner circle, meaning when they get those big opportunities, they go to those 5 guys first, or girls, right? They go to the people that always deliver, have the best quality music, are professional, fun to work with, easy to work with, right? That's who you need to be. So when you first get into a library, you will start on the peripheral. You're going to be in the sort of outer group of like, I don't know, is this person gonna be, one of our inner circle people we can rely on? It's really on you. You get to prove that to them, and now is your chance to do that once you got accepted. So that's why I say it's not a smart idea to send out a ton of submissions all over the place, and when you get accepted by multiple libraries, now you have to pick and choose which ones you want to work with. Now you're burning bridges with the ones that you said no to when you might need to use them down the road. Maybe you need to partner with them down the road. So you need to make sure that you're very specific and strategic with how you make your submissions, and that's what I teach in my 5-day music licensing course, which you can get below this video. There's a link to check that out if you like that. So that's it, guys. These are the fundamentals of how to email the right way, right? And again, even though this is geared mostly towards music licensing, I don't care what you're doing in the business, this is fundamental 101 common sense email etiquette that you should be following if you want to succeed in the music business.